Hello everyone, we are proudly present the material for our study, and the title is Ethics in Public Speaking. We are going to talk about Communication Code of Ethics. Point A is, in 1999, the National Communication Association officially adopted the Credo for Ethical Communication. Point B is, ultimately, the NCA Credo for Ethical Communication is a set of beliefs communication scholars have about the ethics of human communication. The next point is National Communication Association Credo for Ethical Communication. Point A is, ethical communication is fundamental to responsible thinking, decision making, and the developments of relationships and communities within and across contexts, cultures, channels, and media. Point B is, moreover, the ethical communication enhance human worth and dignity for fostering truthfulness, fairness, responsibility, personal integrity, and respect for self and others. Point C is, they believe that unethical communication threatens the quality of all communication and consequently and the well-being of individuals and the society in which we live. Okay, thank you. And the next presentation will be presented by Nia Putri Arianti. Thank you.
Okay, thanks Maya. The next point is applying the NCA Credo to public speaking. The NCA Credo for ethical communication is designed to inspire discussion of ethics related to all aspects of human communication. For our purposes, we want to think about each of these principles in terms of how they affect public speaking. As public speaker, one of the first ethical areas we should be concerned with is information honesty. While there are cases where speakers have blatantly lied to an audience, it is more common for speakers to prove a point by exaggerating, omitting facts that weigh against their message, or distorting information. We believe that speakers build a relationship with their audience, and that lying, exaggerating, or distorting information violates this relationship. Ultimately, a speaker will be more persuasive by using reason and logical arguments supported by facts rather than relying on emotional appeals designed to manipulate the audience. It is also important to be honest about where all your information comes from in a speech. A speaker examine your information sources and determine whether they are biased or have hidden agendas. While you might not know all your sources of information firsthand, you should attempt to find objective sources that do not have an overt or covert agenda that skews the argument you are making. The second part of information honesty is to fully disclose where we obtain the information in our speeches. As ethical speaker, it is important to always cite your sources of information within the body of a speech. Whether you conducted an interview or read a newspaper article, you must tell your listeners where the information came from. It is mentioned earlier in this chapter that using someone else's words or ideas without giving credit is called plagiarism. When speaking informally, people sometimes use air quotes to signal direct quotation, but this is not a recommended technique in public speaking. Instead, speakers need to verbally tell an audience when they are using someone else's information. The consequences for failing to cite sources during public speeches can be substantial. The next presentation will be held by Nanda.
Okay, thank you, Nia. The next point is speakers tend to fall into one of three major traps with plagiarism. The first trap is failing to tell the audience the source of a direct quotation. To avoid plagiarism, you always need to tell your audience when you are directly quoting information within a speech. The second plagiarism trap public speaker fall into is paraphrasing what someone else said or wrote without giving credit to the speaker or author. The next point is typically the only information you do not need to cite. The next point is typically the only information you do not need to cite is information that is general knowledge. General knowledge is information that is publicly available and widely known by a large segment of society. The next is the third plagiarism trap that speaker fall into the is reciting someone else's source within a speech. The second reason we do not recite someone else's source within our speaker is because it is intellectually dishonest. Your listener and honest description of where the fact your relation come from, not just the name of an author who cite those facts. Thank you for your listening. See you and dadah!